Donald Trump firing back against Democrats who some say are using the alleged Russian hack to try and delegitimize his election win. The president-elect saying, if Russia or some other entity was hacking, why did the White House wait so long to act? Why did they only complain after Hillary lost? And did President Obama admit Trump is right by saying this?
I think there is no doubt that when any foreign government tries to impact the integrity of our elections, that we need to take action, and we will.
Hi, everyone. I'm Eric Bolling. Welcome to Cash In. Our Cash In crew this week: Mercedes Schlapp, Lisa Booth, Rachel Campos-Duffy, and Julie Roginski. Welcome, everybody. Now, Lisa, we'll start with you. Should the Obama administration have already taken action? And by the way, we're 34, 35 days out until Donald Trump takes over. Should they take action now?
Well, they should have taken action, and that's why I think there's this viewpoint that it seems to be largely political. And by and large, you look at the messengers who are pushing this narrative that the Russians tipped the election in favor of Donald Trump. They really lack credibility. It's either Nancy Pelosi's daughter who is pushing this message from the electors, Hillary Clinton's campaign themselves, who were really critical of Donald Trump's comments and concerns over voter fraud, and wanting to see the election results. She criticized him during the election. Also, who claimed that Hillary Clinton's email system on her server, which was less secure than Gmail, was never hacked. You also have the media pushing this narrative that has proven throughout this general election just the sheer bias that they have against Donald Trump, and also the Obama administration themselves, which has lied to the American people, pushed propaganda surrounding Benghazi, also lied about the Iran ransom.
Let's not get too far away from this topic. We'll get to whether or not the Russians hacked and whether or not the hacking actually influenced the election. But Julie, I want to ask you, President Obama right there said, we will take action. What type of action do you think he will take?
Well, it's getting late in the game for him to have taken action. I wish that Mitch McConnell and others had joined him in a bipartisan manner when he asked to do this and put out a statement back during the election saying that the Russians are hacking. Look, there's no disagreement that the Russians hacked in our intelligence community. The only disagreement appears to be what the purpose of the hack was, whether it was to help Donald Trump or just to delegitimize or to have people lose faith in our political institutions. The fact that they hacked is something that across the board all intelligence agencies agree with.
What is President Obama intending to do? What could he do? What should he do?
Here's what he should do.
And why would he do anything now?
Well, I have no idea what he intends to do. I obviously don't know.
What are the options?
Here's the options. I would immediately impose sanctions, further sanctions on Putin's inner circle, not on the Russian people, but on his inner circle, who do a lot of banking in the West. I would suspend their right to travel to the West, to EU countries, or to the United States. A lot of them have real estate here in New York where they park their money. A lot of them have money in the city of London that they park their cash because they don't trust Vladimir Putin not to seize it himself, as he has been wont to do once in a while.
First of all, what we need is a bipartisan investigation in Congress. Obviously, what we have seen with President Obama in the sense of his timing and waiting till now to say the Russians have hacked us, we don't have all the information. In fact, I was talking to several FBI sources who were saying, wait a second, this is not necessarily factual. And so there's disagreements among the intelligence agencies. So we need to get to the bottom of it first. Secondly, back in October, it was Vice President Joe Biden in an NBC Meet the Press interview who said that he was not concerned, quote, that the Russians would fundamentally alter the election. And now, all of a sudden, the administration is completely backtracking. Why? Because they thought that their candidate, Hillary Clinton, was going to win. Donald Trump won this election fair and square, and the mere fact is that we know that the Russians have been hacking and trying to interfere in our elections for quite some time, but now it's an issue? Come on.
I know Julie's head is about to explode, and we want to get you back in here, Julie, but Rachel, let's play off a little bit what Mercedes said. Okay, so Russians hacked. Guess what? The Iranians hacked, the Chinese hacked, the North Koreans hacked. They're always hacking, they're always attacking us. But what proof is there that it actually changed the outcome of the election?
There isn't. Put up or shut up. They asked them to come in and show the evidence, and they couldn't show it. They didn't want to come to the hearings that the House Intelligence Committee had, and I think that's the greatest evidence we have that this has been politicized by those political appointees that are in the intelligence community. Look, this to me reeks of not just sore loser, but also payback. I think Obama is paying Donald Trump back for having an aura of delegitimization of his own presidency with the birther comments, and this is his way of getting Donald Trump back. Problem is, he is using our intelligence community. He is using the credibility of our elections, and he's using the very presidency, the pulpit of the presidency, to take out this
Let's speak a little truth to power. You've got John McCain, certainly not an ally of Barack Obama. You've got Lindsey Graham.
By the way, nor of Donald Trump.
You've got Lindsey
nor
Graham.
Of Donald Trump, but go ahead.
Certainly not an ally.
Another anti-Trumper.
Listen,
go ahead.
This is not anti-Trump. These are people who are realistic about the realities that the Russians pose and the threat that they pose. And I'm going to say this to you. If you don't think that the Russians and Vladimir Putin, if they do not get any kind of penalty for this, are not going to be emboldened to one day do the same thing to this president or to the Republican National Committee, they will.
Hold on. President Obama has turned a blind eye to the aggression of Russia, China, and Iran throughout his presidency. He also meddled and tried to out Benjamin Netanyahu in the Israeli elections. Further, Department of Homeland Security said that the American electoral system is too decentralized for Russia to try to hack the system. Also, Loretta Lynch reiterated and said there was no interference.
We can't just throw this out there. This week, Julian Assange went on with Sean Hannity and said, guess what? Those emails weren't hacked. They were leaked to us. Mercedes.
How did you think they got them? How do you think they got them?
Okay, but let's try to find solutions instead of screaming at each other. The solution here is if we do move on a bipartisan investigation, I think that makes absolute sense. It's something that I could see Mitch McConnell calling for. I could see the Democrats coming into moving in that direction. With that being said, it is troubling that you have, for example, one of the senators who was on the Intelligence Committee who requested a meeting and a briefing from the CIA, and the CIA is not giving the briefing. This is also happening in light of the fact that the electors are about to vote December 19th, which brings into question where they want these what they call the Hamilton electors want to have these intelligent briefing before voting. Quite frankly, this was an issue that the Obama administration failed to address in a timely manner.
Right,
and now, I do believe you seek and try to find solutions to figure out how you deal with cybersecurity in the United States, because the issue could be bigger, which is that of attacking our power grids, of attacking our railroads, etc.
This is it. Go ahead, Rachel.
Well, it was under the Democratic administration that the Russians got away with murder, going into Crimea, the inhumane actions they're taking in Syria, the red line. Why would they want a strong guy like Donald Trump in? Why wouldn't they? It just doesn't make sense.
Are you kidding? Donald Trump, who didn't realize when he was asked whether the Russians had already gone into Ukraine, Donald Trump, who's talking about potentially lifting sanctions on Russia after everything they've done, Donald Trump, who thinks that there could be some sort of accommodation with their ally, Bashar al-Assad.
I can't believe the Democrats.
Donald Trump, who basically is talking about weakening NATO.
You guys, this is the one issue. Information influenced the election in any way.
Let me put it to you this way. You cannot possibly say that Donald Trump.
I think we touched the nerve. I think we found a very, very hot topic.
I can't believe the Democrats are being hawkish on Russia. Under President Obama, it has been the weakest administration.
We're going to leave it with this. Remember what President Obama said to Mitt Romney at a debate? He said, hey, Mitt, about Russia, the 80s want their foreign policy back.
He was wrong
and he was wrong about that.
Yes,
all right.
that's right.
Coming up.